So we're trying to keep things organized here as far as the fact that we have to make more than one videos, multiple videos to go over the subject matter. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to talk about the things that we already talk about inside of previous videos. You just have to follow. There is no more important message than the one that we're giving you right now. So you have to follow up. One of the great things to do is to subscribe, and you can give the video likes, because it doesn't make any sense you dislike it because you don't understand it. Because if you don't follow and pay attention to the things that I'm saying, then you will not understand it, because this was not meant to be understood in one video or in one session. It took me many years to understand the things that I'm trying to reveal here to you. So you're not going to understand it in one video, so you might as well like it, and liking the videos are in your best interest, because you're agreeing to the word that God has sent. You don't want to disagree with God's word, because then you're under the disagreeing spirit, which is a compromised spirit, and a lost soul is a lost soul. You don't want to put yourself in that position. So let's continue on where we start. As I said before, we're gonna continue on Elon Musk in this video, and there's a reason why I pronounce his name Elon Musk in the first video, and now in this video we're gonna pronounce his name correctly, which is Elon Musk. Musk is mass information, mass controlling the mass control over the mass, which is why they purchased Twitter, which is now changed to X. Pay attention to these things. And why would somebody name their network X? X as in marked out, as in you're done. You're cancelled. It's kind of like, you know what X means? So now Twitter has been changed to X. Pay attention here. So the first last name I gave him was Musk, and that was what I said to the video, as in mass information, mass misinformation, the mass controlling the mass of people, and then what people think. The name, as we know it pronounced, is Musk, Elon Musk. And even when you look at Musk, even that should tell you something. Musk means that this guy smells. This man smells. He comes with an odor. He puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because he's supposed to be this Mongol, that's this smart genius, as people would initially interpret him, but he turns out to be an odorous political figure that just turns off a lot of people. But at the same time, Elon Musk is very rich. Is very rich, and him being rich in this particular sense is a part of what Lucifer used as the weaponization because of what? What did we say in the first video? Why is that even a connotation to use in the sense? Why is that even something that you would imagine? Because mammon, as Christ will talk about, mammon is the spirit of the love of money, the God of the love of money. There is God, and there's a love of God, and there's a love of money. The love of money is not the love of God. Because as the Bible said, the man that is in the flesh cannot please God. God is not glorified by the pleasure of a man's flesh or the things that a man wants in the flesh. Houses, cars, more houses, more money, more party, more sex, more food, more pleasure. All of those things belong on the side of mammon, because God does not get glory through the flesh. The flesh cannot glorify God. Read your Bible and it will tell you that. Now, how is a man pleasure? Is God not interested in man being pleasure? Of course God is interested in the pleasures of man, but he is not interested in man pleasuring themselves. There's two different things. Because this is the same God that would save your soul and would put you in an eternal bliss, would give you everything that you want under the sun. But that has to come through the will of God. So when man put God aside and rely on money for everything, there becomes the love of money, and the soul of man lust after money. And so the soul of man lust of money, and because of that lust of money, the soul is lost, searching for money. A lot of souls in hell right now, seeking for pleasure, and they're falling deeper and deeper, like they talk about the vicious cycle, going around from places to places, as God had said to Lucifer, where has thou been? He said, from being all over the earth, running from place to place, seeking for pleasure, seeking for the pleasure of the flesh. You see, the thing about it is that the devil is not patient. And this is why I use the term patience in the first video. Because I said there that it's going to be a test to see who will follow through to where you get the understanding of the things that I'm talking about. Because it is not a 10-minute accord. So why is Elon Musk an instrument of the devil? Why is he one of Lucifer's right-hand man? Why does he have 200 million followers on his, what used to be his Twitter, but now now it becomes his X, because he's Xing out your life. Anytime you join, you're X'd out. Become conscious of social media and of what those things mean, because these things the meanings of these things are not superficial. It is pretty deep, and it is really real. The devil is real. And one of the biggest weaponization of the enemy is to get you to discount the things that are fact. Like the devil that is real would get you to believe that he's not real. so that he can devour your soul. Pay attention to these things. Now, why Elon Musk? Why is he an effective tool of the enemy? By me speaking to you in these terms and in these under these contexts, it should already be clear to you, if you're paying attention, as to why a person like Elon Musk would be a perfect tool for Mammon, which is the god of money, and of course Mammon works for the devil, because this is how it shall be in the last days. This is how the mark of the beast works, through the love of money. It's about money. They talk about currency, but it's not just currency, it's money. It's the love of material things. It's the love of pleasure. That is what Mammon is all about. You see, the fact is that Elon Musk have a lot of money. He's sitting on billions, probably trillions of that. Known as the world's richest man. So a lot of people would follow him for that particular purpose. Just because he's rich, he has what the soul of man is lusting after. So he have many followers. The Bible tells you that the rich have many friends. So now, with him being in that position where he is an effective tool, the devil recruit him to win souls together, to win souls unto the Antichrist. So when it comes to winning souls for the Antichrist, he has to be one of the perfect instruments for that. And therefore Elon Musk is very, very involved in politics. And he's not just involved in politics in such a way, but he's involved in trying to win souls, for the Antichrist, which is, who is the Antichrist? Who did I say is the Antichrist in the beginning of the video? So in the first video we said that Donald Trump is the Antichrist. And I know I have not yet come to where I start explaining that as yet. Because we're explaining the things around the other things before we get to that. I speak to you as to why Lucifer would be interested in a person such as Elon Musk. Elon Musk, we call him in this video. And why the odor of this man smells so badly. Remember now that Elon Musk is from South Africa. What is known about South Africa? What do you know about South Africa? South Africa is the most racist place on the planet. That is where the apartheid system was held. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 25 years for revolting against apartheid, and then when he's old and weak, they let him out. Gave him some kind of tentative thing where they controlled him, and now he's dead. And this is a white guy from South Africa. So do you think Elon Musk likes everybody, every race? He doesn't like every race, but there's one particular race that he hates more. So that is just a synopsis. Look at also Elon Musk. Take a pay attention to his actions. I was watching a video of how those so-called cars that he made that looks like, just looking at the car, it just gives you this hideous feeling. The what they call the space, what they call it, those cars, the cyberspace, whatever, you know, that ugly looking car right there. And he had given a couple of them to some guy right there that worked with the Kremlin, some socialist guy, some communist guy. So Elon Musk is a person to pay attention to, and the government have a right to be paying attention, to be watching him closely. The federal government said that they are watching him closely. So I just want to open your eyes. We have a lot of things to talk about, but I just want to let you know who this man is, who is Elon Musk, and you pay attention to who he's trying to promote. Whoever Elon Musk, whichever candidate in this 2024 election that Elon Musk is supporting, and not just supporting, but is promoting, that candidate is a beast. That candidate is the Antichrist. And how do you know? Even if you didn't know who had candidates he was supporting, and we all know that he's supporting Donald Trump. Even if you didn't know that, I already told you who Elon Musk is, and I explained to you the plight of the enemy and who Lucifer wants. I said that in the video, and I just explained to you also in this video as to why Elon Musk is a subject of interest. And this is because of Mammon. This is because of his financial status. Because what the enemy want, what Lucifer want, the plan of the Antichrist is subjection and subversion. The agenda of the Antichrist is to create this wedge between the rich and the poor. And as I had said before in many videos in the past, there will be no middle class when the Antichrist sits in the office of government. There will be no more middle class. So there will be no such thing as millionaires. That will be gone. Because millionaire can be a middle class, and it can be super middle class, whatever, but that will no longer exist. There will only be two things: billionaires and servitudes. So there will be billionaires, and the rest of the people will be servitude. The middle class shall disappear under the government of Lucifer and the Antichrist and the government of Mammon. Because if the middle class exists, then crucial poverty can no longer exist, because the middle class would prevent them from happening. So there will be no middle class. There will be the super rich, and everybody else will be poverty. And you talk about poverty, you ain't seen nothing yet. A lot of us has become political, and you talk about this 4 years, or the last 4 years, or how you've been suffering because of the price of things, because the pandemic created a global economic crisis, which we are now trying to get into. Don't forget how it was when Donald Trump was in office, that there was a mismanaged pandemic with social distances where the whole country was closed down. So there is not even any point of even talking about a better economy, because a better economy would be impossible under those circumstances. So when you're talking about you were better off, were you better off? I'm better off now than I was 4 years ago. I do not want to go back to the plight of COVID-19 as we have seen it under Donald Trump, and not only the plight of COVID-19 but the mismanagement of such. I do not want to go back there. So people can say a lot of things, because a lot of people, you make comments based on what people have you to think, and that is how they control you, because they control your thinking, your ideas. But you have to pay attention to the things that's going on and make your decision for yourself. Don't make people pundit your mind and tell you how to think. Deal with things, deal with facts. If you are a person that, if you fail to read your lost soul, if you don't have the patience to sit down and to read and to study, you are lost soul. Because one of the greatest error that a man could ever make is to cast a vote without knowledge of what you're voting for or what you're voting against. And a lot of people, a lot of so-called evangelical Christians, the only thing that they look on is same-sex marriage, which is totally wrong. We talked about that in the other video. Same-sex marriage, but you're not looking at losing the opportunity, the ability to even vote in the first place. Because when all your rights are being taken away, then your point of even voting is pointless. And I can tell you right now, it is not the Democratic Party that is taking away your right. It is the Republican Party. Pay attention to what you're doing. The same ones that are talking about, oh, the Democrats are socialists and they are doing these things to subject your right. They are the ones that are taking your right. The devil is very cunning, you know. The devil is very cunning. So there's a lot of things that we have to talk about, and I have to open up your mind so that you can make your decision in this election based on the facts and not on what somebody tell you. I want you to do your research and to pay attention to what you're doing, because if you said that you are not going to vote, then you're just allowing your failure to vote is a vote, because you vote for the failure when you fail to vote. This video was to talk particularly about Elon Musk, to tell you who he is. So if you was a follower of Elon Musk, now you have your information. You better get out there. Get up out of that propaganda network. Do not listen to do not follow these guys. So as we move forward, the next video, I'm probably going to start talking about Donald Trump, the Antichrist. I don't know if there's another video that's gonna come before this, but that should be video number 3, and you will see the link in there. You have to subscribe to my channel. Please do that, so we need to talk, and I need to hear from you. But you cannot communicate with me on YouTube, because for some reason comments are disabled on every video I upload. But guess what? We have our own platform. It's thelocalteller.com, thelocalteller.com, and I would appreciate if you click on the link and come over to the local teller where you can see this video, other videos, and you can interact, you can communicate there with us, you know. So look for a link in the video. Again, my name is Delroy Young, and we are going over, we're explaining to you about one of the most important things that people need to know. The Antichrist. The Antichrist is here. The Antichrist is here. The Antichrist is here. Please look for a link in this video, and it's also gonna be a link to the next video. Thanks a lot.